Hey! Today we're going to be taking a look at the SANDMARC Hybrid Filter set. This is a set of 3 neutral density polarized filters that fit on the SANDMARC lenses or attached to your smartphone using the supply clip mount. They're made with multi-coated anti-reflective glass and they have a really nice aluminum frame. The kit includes this nice little wallet case thing that fits really easily into a pocket and doesn't take up much space in my camera bag. The filters are ND 16, 32, and 64, all of which are polarized, but we'll get to that later. So let's talk about why we might want to use an ND filter in the first place. Neutral density filters reduce the amount of light entering the camera sensor. When it comes to frame rates and shutter speed in the world of cinematography, you'll often hear the term 180-degree shutter rule. Essentially, you'll want to double the shutter number to that of the frame rate number. So if we're shooting at 24 frames per second, our shutter speed would be 1/48, or as close as your camera allows. I often shoot action sports at 60 frames per second, so my shutter speed would be 1/120 ideally. With this combination of frame rate and shutter speed, your footage will have that little bit of motion blur that's more natural to the eye. Of course, if you want your footage to look more clinical and sharp, or maybe you're going to take some stills and photos from your video footage, then you'll want your higher shutter speeds. I wanted to test these filters out while shooting a lot of motion and near water, so I knew river surfing would be the perfect way to put them through their paces. I'm shooting on an iPhone 12 Pro Max, but you can shoot with this on almost any smartphone. Just make sure you check the compatibility list on the SANDMARC website. In order to take full advantage of these filters and to be able to adjust my settings manually, I'm shooting using the Filmic Pro app. In Filmic Pro, you have complete control over settings like frame rate, shutter speed, and ISO, among many others, so it gives me the ability to really see what these filters can do. You'll notice when I leave the settings on auto without the ND filter, the shutter speed goes way up to compensate for the bright environment. Definitely not going to get us that pleasing motion blur. Now I'll put the filter on and take a look at the shutter speed. I'm shooting at 60 frames per second, so you'll notice the shutter has adjusted to 1/120. I can fine-tune the ISO to adjust exposure as needed. Now the footage will look a little bit more film-like and a little less smartphone-ish. In bright daylight, I like to use the ND 64 filter, but if I'm shooting on a partly cloudy or in the evening time situation, I'm going to go for the ND 32. And if it's a fully cloudy, low light kind of a day, I'll go for the ND 16. Now let's talk about the polarizer aspect of these filters. If you've ever worn polarized sunglasses like the ones I'm wearing, you'll know that polarization cuts down on a lot of glare from reflective surfaces, like glass or water. The same is true with these filters. You can actually adjust the amount of glare reduction by rotating the front element of the filter to your liking. Notice the difference in this shot when I adjust the filter. The glare is greatly reduced from the water surface. Polarization will also produce a slightly more saturated look. So with all that technical babble out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. Here's a surfing montage filmed entirely with the SANDMARC Hybrid Filters and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Overall, I'm very impressed with the quality and performance of these filters, and I will be using them regularly with my iPhone. I will say there is one little quirk, and that's if you have a larger camera unit on your phone, like on this 12 Pro Max here, the little clip mount doesn't quite fit over all 3 at once, not quite to the edges, but it's not a big deal because you can quickly shift that around to cover the lens that you're shooting with, and problem solved. I want to say a big thank you to SANDMARC for sending me these filters to try out. I am in no way being paid or sponsored to do this video by them, but I do really enjoy the filters and it is my honest opinion. Thanks for watching. Please leave your comments and questions below, and I do try to respond to as many as I can, and I will see you soon.
Hello, my name is Matt, and welcome back to my vlog.
Hey, wait a second. Who started this video without me? My name is Matt.